Chapter 115, Quiet Down. Joseph's eyes immediately emitted the light of greed when he saw Shen Yao directly exchanging 800 million yuan to chips. Who knew this girl was a rich and self-willed master? Possessing both money and beauty, wasn't that the kind of target that he had always wanted to court? If he could really make this girl lose so much money to the point of doubting her life, wouldn't then be the perfect time for him swoop in and make her his? At the thought of this, Joseph laughed as he lit up a Cuban cigar. The more he looked at Shen Yao, the more he got into her. This woman at least wasn't like a gold digger that only had a beautiful exterior, since she wielded a strong personality as well. It sure would give him a great sense of accomplishment if he was able to conquer her. 200 million, I call. Mr. Joseph, you are right, I have a straight, do you dare to call? Shen Yao looked at Joseph and said provocatively. Joseph's eyelids twitched a bit. She really has a straight? He stared at Shen Yao, wanting to see whether she was acting or not. Why am I not raising? I know you have straight, and since you love giving away your money, then I will gladly take it. No matter how much you are raising, I will accompany you. Let me tell you, beautiful angel, you might have to sleep on the streets tonight. Since he was already showing off like this, he must perfect his act. Even if he could see himself losing, he must keep up the generous and confident image, even though he was already crying on the inside. Hearing him say that, Shen Yao got scared again. Su Cheng sighed. Just how much do you not believe me? If Shen Yao could talk back, she would definitely scream at him, how the fuck am I supposed to believe you? Can't you see that the guy clearly knows I have a straight and still raised with me? It means his hand is obviously bigger than mine. Seeing Shen Yao hesitating, Su Cheng was speechless. Just believe me. Even if you lose money, that money's mine. You don't have to worry about anything. How about this, let's bet too. If his hand is bigger, then I will take you out for dinner for an entire week, any place of your choice. How's that? Shen Yao directly threw in 200 million chips. I raise. Joseph's eyelids twitched again. But, he knew that he must not display any hesitation or fear. So immediately, he pushed out a mountain of chips and said, I raise 200 million. You are mine. Su Cheng, that should be enough now, double raise and force a reveal. Shen Yao directly pushed out the 400 million yuan she had left and said, reveal. Joseph's face slightly changed. Then, he flipped over his two face-down cards. 3 aces. I don't believe that you really have a straight. Ha 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 ha. When Shen Yao saw he really had a smaller hand, she immediately got so excited that she threw away the cold goddess image completely, directly standing on her chair and beginning to wave her fists. Su Cheng was speechless. Dude, can you quiet down a bit? I'm almost going deaf over here. It's just winning some money, calm down. Shen Yao's face was a bit red from excitation and was pretty cute. She immediately covered her mouth and then stuck out her tongue, but the smile was still in her eyes. She flipped over her 2 hidden cards and said, Mr. Joseph, sorry, I really do have a straight. Us women aren't as complicated as you men. Joseph immediately slammed his fist onto the desk, and the undercover agent responsible for protecting Shen Yao immediately came over and packed up the chips for her. At this moment, Su Cheng said to Shen Yao, let's stop for now and leave. If you leave now, this man will ask you to stay. But if you just continue to play, then the people on the casino side will notice you. So, you have to pretend that you want to leave. Shen Yao seemed to understand what Su Cheng meant, and she immediately said to her bodyguard, we got a pretty good harvest today, let's go. This should be enough for me to spend for a few years. Her ability to just take the win and leave immediately made the staff that was about to intercept her hesitate. Logically speaking, this miss shouldn't be someone that was here to cause trouble. If she was, then she would only greedily continue to play. And, judging by Shen Yao's skills just now, she seemed like a complete novice. Only Joseph himself could be blamed for not realizing fast enough that she wasn't someone from the casino. He even thought that Shen Yao was here to deliberately lose money to him, and when the dealer tried to warn him, he already threw down 300 million. He obviously couldn't quit by then. Through the surveillance, Master Qin stopped the security guards he sent to intercept Shen Yao. Wait, she probably isn't here to look for trouble. When Shen Yao and her bodyguard were packing up the chips, Joseph got close to the dealer and whispered in a deep voice, give me an explanation, what the fuck is this? Why didn't you remind me in the beginning? Let me ask you, the money that I lost, is it on the casino or do I have to cover it from the amount that I'm laundering? The dealer bitterly smiled. Mr. Joseph, I don't think we should blame the casino side for this, right? Joseph immediately grabbed him by the collar with a darkened face. Are you guys fucking with me? The dealer gestured for him to calm down. I think you should get this miss to stay, and I will try my best to watch out for you for a bit. Joseph then finally let go of his collar. Then, he sat down and shouted to Shen Yao, who seemed to be leaving, You are satisfied with just winning that much money? Believe me, beautiful lady, you can win a lot more from me, so much that you won't even be able to spend it all in your lifetime. Hearing this, Shen Yao turned around and put on the innocent and curious baby face. It sounds like you are very rich. Joseph laughed and said, I have nothing but money to show off. Shen Yao patted her chest and said, I think I will pass. I don't really know how to play cards, and I just got lucky today and won a couple 100 million. I'm satisfied enough. Goodbye, Mr. Joseph. After saying that, she pretended to leave. Joseph, of course, got anxious. The money laundered would be used on legitimate expenses of his company, and they weren't in the state where they could just casually miscount a couple 100 million. So, he must win the money he just lost back, or his dad would whip his ass. However, what way did he have to get her to stay? At the thought of this, Joseph saw the big blue diamond ring on his hand. He immediately took it off and said, Beautiful lady, do you see this ring? It's a rare big blue diamond from South Africa, and it's worth at least 30 million now. But, even if you have that much money, there won't be more rings like this one to sell to you. How about it? Even if you are not interested in money, you should be at least interested in this, right? As long as you can win another round, why not take this ring with you too? What kind of diamond rings had Shen Yao not seen before? As a stewardess serving on high-end flights, what kind of nobles and rich figures hadn't she seen before? But to follow the plan, she could only pretend to be interested and agree to stay. Mr. Joseph, I am indeed very interested. Joseph, then what are we waiting for? Let's just go a few more rounds. Shen Yao paused for a moment, and then she said with a charming smile, Fine, it's still early. I can stay for a few more rounds. Then, she looked towards the other two players. Are you guys playing too? Of course, the two men replied in unison. They saw how many chips Shen Yao had, and they were both overtaken by greed. More importantly, they felt that Shen Yao revealed too much emotion on her face when gambling. When her hand was good, she would have excitement written all over her face. When her hand was bad, she would directly fold. It was just too easy to deal with people like her.